My name is Joseph Brown. I'm the Director of Graduate Student Affairs here at UCLA in the Department of Computer Science. And I handle the master's and the PhD program. So it benefits both undergrads and our graduate students. And it helps them obviously to the next step in their life. What is the next step? Typically getting a job. Most of our students will end up getting a job either in academia or working for tech companies or maybe even the government, working as hackers in security, just doing a variety of things. In regards to working for tech companies, a lot of them work for Amazon, Google, Facebook, you name it, they work for them. There's a UCLA attachment as far as working with these tech companies. They work as software engineers for the most part, but they work in other capacities too as strategists and things like that. And we help them get the skills to actually perform those jobs. So I'll give you an example. Most of our undergrads end up working for tech companies. The classes that they take are classes that help them with learning how to do coding and software development. The graduate students take it one level higher. They do software development, they do creating new apps. A lot of our alums have started new companies. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of, from Uber to working high up in Facebook, Amazon, that sort of thing. And they learn those skill sets working in our program. So those are some of the career paths that a lot of them will end up taking. For the master's students, it usually will take 2 years. If you're an undergraduate student here at UCLA, majoring in computer science, a lot of them qualify for a special program called ESAP. Their timeline as far as getting through our program typically is 1 year as opposed to 2 years. For the PhD, and the application process for the PhDs and masters are the same. It's December 15th. For the PhDs, the journey is a little bit different. The average time to degree is 6 years, and they'll come from all over the world. The number of applications that we get, this year we received 5,000 applications. We have maybe with the PhD and the masters around 150, 160 slots available that we're going to seek to fill. The difference between the masters and the PhD, the masters typically are those who want to go into the industry, and for the PhDs, it's for those who want to go into academia. The PhDs typically have a teaching requirement. The master students do not. Essentially, they take 9 courses, and then they receive their master's. The PhD is much more rigorous. So for the masters, they have to be self-funded. We do have, for the PhDs, they get a free ride. Essentially, our faculty will recruit them through my grad office, and we will then give them a free ride for their duration of the 6 years that they're in our program. So they don't necessarily have to go out and seek funding. If you're admitted into our program for the PhD, it's a free ride. We cover everything from tuition, NRST if you're not a California resident, and you get a stipend of some sort to live on. A lot of these students, the PhDs, and even the masters during the summertime will get summer internships, and those summer internships oftentimes pay essentially almost a year's worth of or I shouldn't say years worth, but they pay a significant amount of money so that they cover a lot of your fees and your NRST, and even perhaps give you money to survive on too. If you opt to take that route, which most of the master students do. There are no fellowships for the master students because they're self-funded, but some of them get the opportunity to serve as teaching assistants. If they get a position working as a teaching assistant in computer science, we cover their fees and they receive a salary, typically, which pretty much will cover their living expenses. Typically, it's when am I going to hear? The follow-up is there funding available? The next one is usually job placement. What companies will come to visit and recruit? We get that all the time. That's we have what's called tea time, and the companies come and present and then recruit our students. It's just solely science students. We don't open it up to the public because we just don't have the bandwidth to do that. But those are the three big questions. When am I going to hear? If there's any funding available, and job placement. Go to www.cs.ucla.edu and you'll be able to see how our graduate programs are set up, what the requirements are. It'll tell you about our student government. It'll tell you about our faculty. And most importantly, it'll tell you about the application process and what you need to do. Deadline's December 15th. That's pretty, I don't think I'll be changing that anytime soon. So that will probably stick for many, many years. For those who are interested in coming to our master's program, one of the things that I think really distinguishes students in the pool is if they've done significant research, which really is a lot of master students don't, but that is something that's really important because that'll distinguish you from other applicants. So that's a little gold nugget. And if you're a UCLA student in computer science, make sure if you have the GPA, which is 3.5, make sure you go through ESAP. The ESAP program at UCLA is an automatic admission into our graduate program. Thank you, everybody, for participating. I hope it has been very useful. And if you have questions, please feel free to just go to our website. We have an FAQ that is very informative. Remember, www.cs.ucla.edu. And once again, thank you for your time.